AWAKEN!
Awaken yourself.
This is for weight loss. We have an acronym, AWAKEN.
Awaken for health, fitness,
Air, breath, water, avoid,
healthy
cabbage,
food,
vitamin K,
exercise,
nutrition and
fiber.
This is Desiree Duvernay.
And Rita Namini.
Here we are today to give you a little tip on weight loss.
And health.
We've analyzed all the science, all the recent science for you to make sure we can get the best program for weight loss. We have an acronym. Air, water, what to avoid, K vitamins, cabbage, exercise, nutrition.
Now we're going to guide you through all the important points, how to eat, what not to eat.
We start with air.
How to breathe properly.
We need oxygen, but actually we are designed to take in air. And this is the number one nutrient. You cannot go without air even for a couple of minutes.
We are going to teach you all the breathing techniques you need.
So basically, the way that you lose weight, we got to get the diaphragm working, and the way that you're going to lose weight is breathing. By breathing, you start to generate weight loss.
Belly, chest, hat. That's the way it goes, like this. And letting go. Fully in. Letting go.
Now let's add some more parasympathetic juice to this. Inhale, stimulating the vagus nerve, belly goes out. Joyful smile, stimulating the facial nerve. Serene eyes, stimulating the oculomotor. And pleasurable exhale, stimulating the glossopharyngeal.
You feel charged. You feel very lightheaded, loose in the body, tingling, strong. That's a charge. And you take them in. You let it go. You stop. Time again, and let it go.
As we do these 30 breaths, when we get down to the end, then we're going to relax and hold the breath.
No breathing in it.
Okay, as long as you can until there's a gas reflex. This will allow carbon dioxide to build up in the body and then to charge the brain with oxygen as we then come back. It's all part of the process that doing these breath exercises a couple of times a day will really stimulate weight loss, because weight loss really depends on oxygenation and breath and carbon dioxide coming out. That's how we detox all of the different fat molecules. That's how we break up fat. Breathing.
Breathing health exercise for 30 breaths. Relax, sit or lie down. Then fill the belly with air. Fill the chest with air. Fill the head with air. Use a pineal gaze by stare up at the center of the brow. On exhale, pull head forward to pump the cranial spinal fluid. Take 30 deep breaths. Exhale fully, not forcefully. Then hold as long as you can. Wait until you felt fear and the gastric reflex. Then breathe, relax. This will make you alkaline, relaxed, creative, and healthy. Awaken, weight loss. This is the new generation of health.
One of the best ways for weight loss is the bellows breathing of yoga.
So when you're trying bellows breathing at home, here's how to do it. First, close your eyes. Second, inhale, extend the arms up towards the ceiling and spread the fingers. Third, exhale forcefully through the nose and bring the arms right into the chest as you make your hands into a fist. And you can repeat that 10, 15, 20 times. And here's how we do it.
Use the belly, use all the lungs, get air everywhere you possibly can, about 15 or 20 times. This is the bellows.
So I'm going to inhale and exhale slowly from this center, from this third chakra, solar plexus. I'm going to bring my thumb and my first two fingers together on both hands. Inhale. And anytime you need to stop and take a full inhale, take an inhale and continue for about a minute.
The next step to awaken weight loss is water.
So I'm
much water should you drink a day? It's a great question. It's a question that we commonly get asked. Most adults are underhydrated. We simply don't drink enough water. We're not thinking about it. We think we are, but when you actually sit and count up how much water you drink, it's oftentimes not nearly enough. In terms of how much water should you drink a day, an easy goal is that your urine should kind of look like water. The moment your urine starts to get deep yellow in color, it's your body telling you that your urine is very concentrated and that you need to be drinking more.
The next needed nutrient is water, air and water, but we need water for the absorption of all the other nutrients, to absorb carbs, protein, fats. It's important to consume water in the right way because most people are consuming water in the wrong way. Most of us are drinking water wrong. And you know what that can do? That can lead to a drinking problem. Yes. So we need to be able to solve it, and we do not want to drink water after a meal. Don't drink water after a meal. Don't drink a lot of things after a meal. You should try to maximize digestion, because when you eat, the body temperature rises for better digestion, for the stomach to do its job. If you want to drink water before a meal, make sure it's 30 minutes before a meal to have enough water to clean out the stomach and get digestion ready. That's a good thing, but 30 minutes, not less. A couple of cups of water 30 minutes before a meal, and that can help your digestion. Right before the meal is a problem. But now, if you're taking this water after a meal, any type of liquid, it's going to dilute your stomach acid. It's going to then, the food will rot in the system, inside the stomach, inside the intestine, and when the food rots, everything goes wrong. We have to obey the rules of the stomach, fluids alone, no coffee at meals, no milk with meals, fruits alone, melons alone. Small is better. Eat for nutrition, not stimulation. Rest comfortably, maximizes. We got to get the stomach to work properly. Study the rules of the stomach, because that when you have that rotting inside the system, you are disturbed the stomach acid, and the food is not properly digested. Large undigested fats, large undigested proteins will create weight problems. Make sure that you do not drink water after a meal. Now, water is good for you. Drink when you're hungry, use a straw. Drink slowly, don't guzzle.
Many people say, I eat healthy, but I don't get the results. Because I drink water a lot, but I don't lose weight. Water after meals acts like slow poison. Don't drink and eat at the same time. Rinse your mouth post meals. It really helps a lot. After dinner, rest a while. After supper, walk a mile. Obey the rules of the stomach and relax at least for 30 minutes after eating so the digestion process can be maximized and you can store the needed nutrition. Use lemon drinks for weight loss. Lemon water, cucumber, mint.
During the day, not after eating.
Combine it with water, ginger, lemon.
The stomach works when it's acid. Our mouth works when it's basic.
The more saliva goes inside the stomach, the better it is.
So we want to drink slowly. Okay, don't guzzle. Try to use the saliva in the mouth. But try to make sure that it's working slowly. We use different infused waters, all different types of things to enhance the flavor.
These are great recipes for weight loss.
And then as we're doing it, recognize also we don't want too cold or too hot. Too cold will shrink the blood vessels, solidify fat in the food, aggravate joint pains, and it will decrease the heart rate. The Chinese make cups very thin, so that if the water is too hot, the tea is too hot or too cold, then your fingers have the same thing as your stomach. So if it is too hot, it's going to hurt the stomach. Too cold, going to hurt the stomach. Too cold, we often do, but recognize, decreases heart rate, aggravates joint pain, shrinks the blood vessels, solidifies fat in food. It upsets digestion. So make sure that we're getting cool or warm. A lot of people say we should drink warm water, room temperature. In fact, some people say lukewarm water is good for weight loss. Okay, a little bit of lemon, some hot water for weight loss. A lot of people will say that. And as we start to recognize about water and how to drink it properly, we start to see that we don't want to drink too much water. How much water should we drink?
The number to remember is about 2 liters of water a day. That's about 4 small bottles of water that we commonly buy on the street.
Don't drink too much. Don't guzzle water on the run. Okay? Sip it lightly. The body's not really designed to handle water properly if you're standing. It puts a little pressure on the kidney.
Kidneys are unable to process too much amount of water at one time.
So use it gently. Recognize weight loss, digestion, brain, skin, headache, energy, better exercise. Water does so much for you. And the next thing is,
the next key part of a successful weight loss project is to learn what not to eat. Avoid synthetic foods, avoid high glycemic foods, avoid processed foods, avoid white sugars, avoid foods boiled in oil, and avoid nitrate meat.
we know better than to eat dirt out of the garden or to eat our old shoes, but there's a lot of foods that are being sold to us that are even worse for us, creating disease. We have to learn what to avoid. And very important, the synthetic sweeteners, these are terrible foods. They have no life force. They destroy the bowel bacteria. They limit your hormones for thinking. They make all different types of disease. We have to learn to avoid these foods. We have to learn to avoid processed foods. We all know to avoid the junk foods. We have to really seriously avoid these things. Avoid all of the different processed foods. They're terrible for us. And when we look at the causes of disease, we're going to see that undeniably the ultra-processed and the processed foods versus the unprocessed diet, we're going to see that this is the cause of weight gain. We must stop boiling foods in oil. We must realize that French fries kill more people than guns and sharks. We have to start avoiding the high-calorie, low-nutrient foods like corn, potatoes, and sugar. We have to be able to get to a new idea. And it starts with what to not eat, because our society is feeding us a whole bunch of things that make us fat.
The next step of our weight loss is the vitamin K, cabbage.
Yes, I spelled cabbage with a K in order to keep the acronym AWAKEN.
Vitamin D is this codependent little wimpy vitamin that's not really a vitamin at all. It's technically a hormone, and it needs K2 to properly do its job. So I want to give you this video that explains why they should be coupled together. And
Vitamin D, the body itself makes vitamin D when it is exposed to the sun. Cheese, eggs, butter, margarine, fortified milk, fish, and fortified cereals are the source of vitamin D.
we absorb vitamin D generally from the sun, and it goes through a methylation process by the liver that kind of converts it into more of a hormone. Now, 80% of the population is deficient in vitamin D. A lot of it has to do with the fact that we're not outside as much. Our body's becoming more adapted to just being indoors all the time.
Vitamin D has been associated with weight loss.
Many studies have shown that just taking vitamin D can help weight loss.
The research conclusion: the more vitamin D in your body, the more fat you lose, up to 70% more, without cutting a single extra calorie.
Just take vitamin D.
They gave half the test subjects 4,000 IUs of vitamin D, and the other half they gave a placebo. Well, at the end of 12 weeks, it was found that both sets of test subjects lost the same amount of weight.
But vitamin D was very conclusive in getting weight off of the belly. Getting weight off of the belly, you need vitamin D. And also you need vitamin K.
But those that had the vitamin D supplementation had a significantly lower waist to hip ratio, which tells us that vitamin D has a direct correlation with losing a little bit more of that stubborn belly fat. Now,
Vitamin K. Food sources of vitamin K include cabbage, cauliflower, spinach, and other green leafy vegetables, as well as cereals.
Vitamin K helps your blood to clot, deal with many different things, help to relieve ulcers and many other things. But it's fantastic at helping you lose weight. It helps to restore the bowel flora to its proper condition and generate the hormones that you need for all of life. The cabbage soup diet really does help you to lose weight.
Now, the only foods that you can really get vitamin D from are fish and eggs.
The cabbage soup diet works. Lose 10 pounds in 7 days.
It really does work. You should try it. It cleans up the bowel flora as well.
At the end of the day, you've got this triple threat. You need calcium, you need D3, and you need K2. So the best way that you're going to get this from eating the right kind of meat sources, organic meat sources, sometimes the right kind of goat cheeses, the right kind of hard cheeses that allow you to get the right kind of calcium and K2 that you need.
But what we really need is whole plant foods. And the cabbage is a phenomenal food with the vitamin K. Keep this in mind. There's several benefits of the cabbage. It's phenomenal. It's a magic food to help make sure your bowel flora gets completely restored and make sure that it works properly.
Combine it with some proper exercise daily. You need at least 30 minutes to keep your speed and rhythm going.
And our next product of the AWAKEN process is exercise. So we've talked now before about air, water, what to avoid, cabbage, exercise, and now we have to get to, let's deal with exercise. We're going to talk about high intensity.
The whole idea with high intensity interval training is you need to 100% be pushing it to the max and then recovering for however long it takes, whether it's 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, to be able to be fully recovered to give it 100% again.
Here we see a high-intensity exercise where you have to push to the max, speed up your intensity, and actually exercise for a little bit of shorter time. And
25 seconds.
Then you can relax a little bit longer. Here it helps you to turn on the weight loss and your metabolism a little bit more fast, properly. The research says everybody can do from 15 to 20 minutes exercise per day. We recommend and we believe everybody should do at least 30 minutes a day.
Now here's more examples of the high intensity. We think 30 minutes, 40 minutes a day is the ideal, but you might want to do this high intensity.
You just have to push.
Maximum effort.
And then your brain tells to the muscle to become stronger, bigger, because you have to survive and you have to complete your project and mission.
Rita and I have usually found that 30 seconds is much better than the 25 seconds. But that kind of depends. But the whole idea is that you push to the max. This makes your brain scream out, I need help, releases the hormones for you to lose weight. But be sure to relax.
Doing high-intensity interval training, we are activating the anaerobic system of the body. So I want you to think of high-intensity interval training cardio the same way that you would think of weight training. Weight training operates with the same metabolic business in your body that high-intensity interval training does.
As we see here, muscle work and even high intensity is burning up calories, so it uses up the energy supply. If you want to lose weight, the best thing to do is do muscle workout and high intensity.
Longer than 20 or 25 seconds, then you're not pushing it at 90 or 100%. Plain and simple, period. You should be going all the way, then recovering as much as you possibly need to be able to afford to push it 100% again.
As soon as you push your body to the max, your brain will get the signal to release the needed hormone for your weight loss and for your muscle building process. So just don't give it up.
When the brain gets the signal that you're in trouble, your survival is in trouble, it releases those hormones.
It varies from person to person on how long the rest periods should be. It is absolutely not uniform. So for example, you should be doing your high intensity training all the way pedal to the metal for like 15, 20 seconds. Because quite honestly, that's about how much energy you have stored up in your body to really perform at 90 to 100%.
High intensity is not for everyone. Not everybody has the ability to really push. If you can, you will maximize weight loss. But exercise is needed to be healthy.
But if you have any joint or knee problem, just watch to do the proper exercise. Exercise to be healthy and to shape your body, but lose weight in the kitchen.
We're going to next be talking about nutrition, what to eat. We've already talked about what to avoid. Now we need to learn what to eat.
I have scoured through the medical literature at all the randomized controlled trials, and the single most successful strategy to date is a diet of whole plant foods. The single most effective intervention like that ever published in the peer-reviewed scientific medical literature, a whole food plant-based diet. That works better than anything else studied to date.
The whole plant food diet means we're getting the whole plant, that we're getting that cell wall. We're not going to take parts out of the plant and try to synthetically drive it. But we're going to use the whole plant. We can cook it, that's fine. But what we're going to find is that the cell walls in the plant cells have the cellulose and the other fiber that needs to feed our bowel bacteria. So we see the effects that it has on weight loss.
I mean, we've known for more than 40 years that those who eat predominantly plant-based weigh, on average, about 30 pounds lighter than the general population. But you don't know if it's the diet itself until you put it to the test. In 2017, a group of researchers in New Zealand published a broad study, a 12-week randomized controlled trial in the region with the highest obesity rates, the poorest region in the country. Overweight individuals were randomized to either standard medical care or semi-weekly classes offering advice and encouragement to eat a low-fat diet centered around fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes, which are beans, split peas, chickpeas, and lentils. And that's all it was, just empowerment with knowledge. No meals were provided. People were merely informed about the benefits of plant-based eating and encouraged to, incorporate it into their own lives. No significant change in the control group, but the plant-based intervention group, even without any restrictions on portions, being able to freely eat all the healthy foods they wanted, lost, on average, 19 pounds by the end of the 3-month study. Look, 19 pounds is a respectable weight loss.
And it was done with plant-based food, whole plant food, cooked well, seasoned, learning how to cook, learning how to capture the flavor, learning how to use the whole plant food.
But what happened next? At the end of those 12 weeks, class was dismissed and no more instruction was given. The researchers were curious, how much weight the subjects had gained back after being released from the study. So at the 6-month mark, everyone was invited back to get reweighed. The plant-based group had left the 3-month study 19 pounds lighter, but by 6 months they were only down about 27 pounds. They got even better. The plant-based group was feeling so good physically and mentally, had been able to come off so many of their medications that they were sticking with the diet on their own, and the weight had continued to come off.
Now they're getting their fiber from the cell walls of the plant to stabilize the gut. The fiber helps electrically stimulate everything and feeds the gut bacteria. So now they're making the hormones serotonin, GABA, dopamine, oxytocin. They're making everything themselves. They don't need a pharmacy. They're making everything inside themselves. They're establishing health, vitality to the human being. Not only is this the most successful weight loss, it lowers blood sugar for diabetes, improves kidney function. In fact, it is the universal diet that we now know helps virtually everything.
All right, what about a year later? Even in studies that last a whole year, where people are, put on a particular diet, coached the entire year to stick to it, by the end of the year, any initial weight loss in the first few months tends to creep on back. The broad study only lasted 3 months, yet after it was all over, those who had been randomized to the plant-based group not only lost dozens of pounds, they kept it off. They not only lost more weight at 6 and 12 months than any other comparable trial. That was months after the study had already ended. Whole food plant-based diet achieved the greatest weight loss ever recorded compared to any other such trial published in the medical literature. You can read the record-breaking study free in full at nature.com/article/NUTD2173, or just point your phone camera at the screen and pick off the QR code.
Now, if you want to go on the plant-based diet, it's very simple. to be able to just get the fruits and vegetables, the spices, the legumes, the grains, and to prepare these things. It just needs a little bit of recipe training, and your palate will readjust very simply. And it's just getting the whole plant foods more into your diet.
Any diet that results in a reduction in calorie intake can result in weight loss. Dropping pounds isn't so much the issue. The problem is keeping them off. And a key difference between plant-based nutrition and more traditional approaches to weight loss is people are encouraged to eat ad libitum, meaning you can eat as much as you want. No calorie counting, no portion control, just eating. Right? The strategy is to improve the quality of the food rather than restricting the quantity of food.
Learning to eat right, change the food, change your life, and learning to eat what the human body was meant to eat, whole plant foods. This should be our primary source of diet.
If you put people on a diet packed with fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and beans, and allow them to eat as much as they want, they end up eating about 50% fewer calories than they otherwise would. Wait, how can you keep people satisfied removing 1,000 calories out of their daily diet? By eating more high bulk, low calorie density foods, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and beans, and fewer calorie dense foods, the meats, cheeses, sugars, and fats. But it may not just be the calories in side of the equation.
When you start to get the whole plant foods like these smoothies, you're getting these cell walls. This will take a little bit more effort to digest, and you're starting to get the proper fiber that people need. And if we can learn what not to eat the high-fat foods, and the boiled in oil foods and the nitrates, we start to learn more about this, what not to eat, and what to eat, we start to get more healthy.
Those eating more plant-based appear to effectively be burning more calories in their sleep. The resting metabolic rate of those eating more plant-based maybe 10% higher or more, a boost of metabolism that can translate into burning off hundreds of extra calories a day more without doing a thing. Eating plant-based, you burn more calories just being alive, just existing.
Yes, you can lose weight while you sleep. Your metabolic rate goes up when you start getting these high fiber foods. This produces the ability to balance the body, getting the different foods that you need. And if you use hot air popcorn and other things, you can get the fiber and increase your health.
Food plant-based diets have been shown to actually reverse heart disease. That's what Ornish and Pritikin used. So what appears to be the most effective diet for weight loss just so happens to be the only diet ever proven to reverse heart disease in the majority of patients. If my grandma didn't have to die like that, maybe no one's grandma has to die like that. If that's all a plant-based diet could do, reverse the #1 killer of men and women, shouldn't that kind of be the default diet to prove another one? And the fact that it can also be so effective in treating, arresting, or reversing other leading killers like type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure would seem to make the case for plant-based eating simply overwhelming. Only one diet has ever been shown to do all that, a diet centered around whole plant foods.
The benefits of the whole plant food for weight loss, to improve the mind, to improve the blood, to improve everything. It's incredible, powerful, earth-changing. We now recognize that we have to get the cell walls. We can't strip them away. We have to get the whole plant food, and it's easy to change your palate and to get this type of food. Within just a short period of time, your palate will reorganize. And once you start to make these hormones in your gut, the happiness hormones, the stress reduction, the motivation, the bonding hormones, your life becomes better in 1,000 ways. Okay, our new scientific program for weight loss, AWAKEN. I'm Desiree Duvernay.
I'm Rita Navini. Just keep your motivation. Doesn't matter how small steps you take every day. Just keep moving forward.
Eat the good food, avoid the bad food. Get the right exercise, get the air, the water, the breathing, all of these things.
Choose your meals wisely.
And you can awaken the health and awaken the weight loss.
And you can connect your body, your mind, and spirit.
We've given you all the tools now. Air and water are nutrients you need. Exercise is a nutrient. Love, respect, all nutrients. Pay attention.
Just keep up the base.
Get your cabbage soup.
Bye.